Hello and welcome to the TCF Morning Show. It is Wednesday, February 26th, and I am joined tonight by Pigoy at TCF Pigoy and Boomy at Boomy TCF on Twitter. The main page is at typical_Chicago. You can follow me on Twitter at ZLilja, Lilja, Instagram and Facebook. Just type in Typical Chicago Fans and follow us on there. Go to YouTube. Type in Typical Chicago Fans. Subscribe to the YouTube page on there. Like I said, we put all of our morning shows and our podcasts on the YouTube page. And also, if you want to go wherever you get your podcast from, type in Typical Chicago Fans. Subscribe, rate, review if you are on Apple. And if you are on Spotify, follow and give us a review on there. And if you have your podcast anywhere else, just type in Typical Chicago Fans and do what you got to do on there. Thank you to our sponsor, The Muddy Otter. Go to themuddyotter.com if you want a beautiful mug just like this one with the TCF logo and the Muddy Otter on the bottom right there. They say go to themuddyotter.com or follow them on Instagram and Facebook. If you got a custom idea for them, you should hit them up on Facebook or Instagram and let them know of your ideas. Sorry, I got the Thunder and the Bulls just hit a big three. Gosh dang it. The Muddy Otter, great products, pottery and woodworking, beautiful from Hannah and Mitch Prentice. Go to themuddyotter.com. Also, thank you to Score Trader. If you want to, what did you say, Boomy? The next one is Saturday.
Yep, we got South Carolina on Saturday. Nevada wrapped up last weekend, and then a week from yesterday, we got Super Tuesday, and I believe there's 18 states doing their primary or their caucus on that day. So lots coming up, but make sure you head over to the Score Trader app, go to your app store on your Apple device, and download Score Trader for the Vote 2020 event. It's a freestanding continuous trading market that participates in the state primary events, but also in the Democratic National Convention, which will happen in July. You get tokens for each individual event, but also for your overall profit in the entire process. And that's how the real cash is won. It integrates political news. So if you're not the biggest politics aficionado, I guess is the best word. It kind of gives you a way and a reason to get involved in the election cycle to find out who's going to be running up against Donald Trump in November 2020. But it also gives you a way to express your confidence in a candidate and also to be flexible at the same time and change your picks. But like I said, head over to the Apple App Store, download the app, follow them on Twitter at Score Trader app, and as well as their Instagram page and their Facebook. And if you don't know what you're doing, go check out their YouTube page. You'll learn it in like 60 seconds. So it's a good time to get in. Bernie's having quite a run, and they're doing their debate right now. Pete Buttigieg is still making a run. So yeah, there's still plenty of time to get in and plenty of events to get in.
Thank you for that. Like you said, if you're trying to get into the politics a little bit, this is a way to get yourself involved a little bit with a little bit of action kind of in the game or in the politics or the debating to make it a little bit more interesting for you. If you're kind of in like the daily fantasy sports, or if you were into the trading with the football, maybe this can get you also like more into politics. But again, as Score Trader, go to the Apple Store, download the Score Trader app, make an account for free. Thank you to Score Trader and the Muddy Otter. But let's get into our first topic tonight, boys. We had college basketball tonight. Big night for our boy, or last night, for our guy Matt, the Duke Blue Devils. Unfortunately for Matt, the UNC North Carolina Tar Heels have not been playing very well this year.
But as we record this, they are currently losing to in-state rival NC State, 48-44.
But if you're going to have maybe a down year and you are a North Carolina fan, you would love to see the Duke Blue Devils have a rough patch here that they had. I was looking it up. They were up. What were they up? But I say 9 points with about a minute and a half left. They had like a 98% win probability and end up losing in double overtime to Wake Forest. I don't know what Coach K is going to
12
say is
and
wrong with him
15
tonight. Is he
scores.
sick? Is he had the flu? His back hurts. Maybe his knees
Yeah.
hurt. I don't know what's wrong with him. Oh my!
They got outscored 16
I'm
to
sorry.
4.
I'm
in
sorry,
double
guys.
overtime.
I know it's
Yeah.
not college basketball, but I just watched Felicio to get subbed in with 15 seconds left in the meaningful game.
That's
What?
fine.
What?
That's where we're at. Is
That is.
We got to put
Oh
our
my
best guys out
gosh.
there to
Hopefully
win
they
us the game.
sub him. Kobe
And
White's on the
Cristiano
bench with
Felicio is
15
our-
seconds left in a huge game. What are you doing? Ugh. Sorry. But yeah, Duke. They were ranked 7th going into today. They definitely will not be.
Duke still
They'll be
23
good.
and 5.
They'll
They'll
be good.
be a
But they
2
have shown
seed.
that they aren't as dominant as they've been in the past. And I think there's been really no dominant team. I hate to say the most dominant.
That's
fun.
exactly it, man. They're going to be in the Final Four because there's no one that, to me, like, I still think Duke is, to me, as if I look at it right now, and assuming they get to an ACC conference championship game, Duke's still going to be there because, yes, they're not the dominance they don't have, but, like, still the parity that's in college basketball is going to help them in that bid to make another run at it. They're still a wagon. They're still 23 and 5. I don't know. I trust them more than I trust even like a Baylor, and Baylor's very good. But like, do you get what I'm saying? Like Dayton, do you trust Duke or Dayton? Do you trust Duke or San Diego State more? It's just kind of one of those years. Maybe in a different year, maybe in a different setting. But just the parity and the wild, that's exactly the right word is wild right now, because like right now the number 5 team in the country is San Diego State. Do you trust Duke? Do you trust San Diego State? Do you trust Duke? Do you trust a team like Baylor? I mean, right now I'm looking at 22 ranked Texas Tech, who made a Final Four run last year. They're getting handled pretty easily on the road to a very average Oklahoma team, and those are the teams that you're talking about are going to run into in the Sweet 16, in the Elite Eight. I still trust Duke a lot, and if there's, I know you guys don't like him, but if you're gonna, jump on a horse to give you a ride to, the Final Four, it's hard to count a guy like Coach K out with the talent that they do have.
Depending on if he is okay after this game, we understand sometimes losses
Eventually.
affect him in different ways, with the knee pains maybe, or the back pains, or just feeling ill or whatever. So we don't know how he'll be after this loss. But yeah, you always gotta trust Duke. But it's also one of these times where, like you said, the parity in college basketball is going to make this March Madness so much fun to watch. And it's going to make it very exciting because it's going to be probably one of the hardest brackets we've had to fill out in a long time.
Yeah,
And so-
that's a great point, Zach. I was thinking that earlier today. That's a great point. This might be the most difficult year to fill out
Yeah,
a
because
bracket.
I just don't know. Like,
So-
there's going to be so many different, I think, champions. There's a lot of Gonzagas, a lot
like,
of Dukes, or
in your
whatever.
head right now, name the best 8 teams in the country.
Yeah, I feel like this is a year
You know
where
what
you
I'm
could
saying?
see some higher seeded teams, or lower, I guess, whatever, like maybe a 10, 12, 13, 14, maybe making a run because there's so much going on where the seedings are also just going to be weird because of, like you said, there's going to be, maybe 7 to 8 Big Ten teams in there. Like, that's going to fill up some some spots that maybe we'll take some teams out of higher seeds and stuff like that. I just think that it's going to be exciting.
There's going to be a ton of madness, obviously, in college basketball this year. So, and I don't really start following it until post Super Bowl. And I've been listening and betting a ton since the Super Bowl on college basketball. So, like, Boomy, I want to ask you, if you've got, so you talked about Baylor and Duke, kind of vice versa. But if I'm going to let me give you 4 teams: Duke, Gonzaga, Kansas, Kentucky.
Right. I mean, I guess if you like true blue bloods, I mean, I still consider Gonzaga a blue blood, at least in our lifetime. I look at all 4 of those right now. Would not surprise me if they lose in the second weekend, but also wouldn't surprise me if that's the Final Four.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of high on Kansas right now, too.
Well, like,
Yes.
And probably Gonzaga.
I don't disagree with you. Kansas is hitting their stride at the right time.
Yeah.
Now, if Kansas reverts to the team that they were early in conference play to me, you might be kind of running into a bit of a problem there. I'll be honest, I'm a sucker for this. This happens every year. I like Gonzaga. I think Mark Few is one of the best coaches in the country, and it's hard to bet against him. But if I had to pick, are you asking me to pick one out of that group of four?
Give me one or two. It's probably Duke. My two are Duke and Kansas.
Mine's Duke and Gonzaga.
I think Gonzaga's always one of those teams you always say, oh, there's their conference. But if you watch some of their games, they are winning dominantly.
Well, and that's a good point, Zach, because you see all the talking heads like, oh, like Gonzaga doesn't play anybody. Well, yeah, because no one on the East Coast or even where we live stay up to watch, Utah State, to watch BYU. Those are good quality basketball teams.
Gonzaga was.
And it's not like we're playing like the little sisters of the poor. Yes, they're going to run into like San Jose State. Those games are going to happen where they're going to beat the dog piss out of them. But there are nights where they're going. Yeah, exactly. Like St. Mary's is having a down year, and St. Mary's is still like they still have to play Gonzaga again, and they're going to give them a shot. Like they are the big dog out there. It's like UCLA was 15 years ago, or 50 years ago. They were the ones that everybody was out there headhunting, and I like those two. And I don't know what it is about Kansas. I think they're a really solid basketball team, but the fact of the matter is their inconsistency throughout the year does scare me a little bit, and I just hate John Calipari. I can't pick Kentucky.
The Big 12's not easy this year, and I feel like you said, like Gonzaga, like they don't tip till 10 o'clock our time, so nobody watches them.
But in the same breath, like the top of the Big 12 is good, but there's a lot of very mediocre basketball being played at schools like Iowa State made a nice little run in the tournament a couple years ago. They're really down. They're sub 500. Oklahoma State is a very average team. Oklahoma is a very average.
Texas Tech regressing from last year.
Right. Texas Tech. Texas. Look at that. There's West Virginia is having a decent year. They're I believe they're ranked right now, but like my question always is like, would the middle of Gonzaga's conference beat or compete with the middle of the Big 12? And I'm not sure that's ever the case, but Gonzaga to me is in our lifetime, boys, Gonzaga is a blue blood, that's a program that has been around and has been competitive in the NCAA tournament basically for the last 20 years. So I don't know. It's hard to, like I said, I could easily see all four of those being your Final Four picks.
Yeah. Is there a Big Ten team that is any good?
There is. I think there are good Big Ten teams, but
will they just beat each other up to the point where they will all just kind of mediocre till the end of the season?
Right. Zach has made this point many, many times. It's a good point to look at. Like, there are so many good teams, but like Zach talks about, the home court advantage in the Big Ten, like they're cannibalizing each other. Maryland is the number one seed. They're 22-5. That's really good. I think they can make a run, but I also wouldn't put it past them, to fall early. With Michigan State.
But with that, though, it kind of, like you said, the Big Ten is kind of who's the good team. But with having that many good teams in a conference, when you go to the tournament, you've already played 5 to 6 of the best teams in college basketball a few times.
Right. And I think realistically, the Big Ten gets maybe 7 at most. I don't know if the selection committee, because right now at 8 is Rutgers, whose overall record is 18-10, and that is that 10 number for a big Power 5 conference. That number always seems to sit right on the last 4 in, first 4 out. And plus, it's all going to depend. Rutgers is 9-8 in the conference. Can Rutgers finish the season? Can they make a run into the conference tournament and get to a semifinal or a final game? Because right now, I don't think Indiana is a tournament team. This one hurts me to say because I like this team a lot. Ohio State at 18-9. I don't think they're good, but they can make a case. All of these teams, Ohio State, Rutgers, Michigan, Indiana, if they make a run to the conference, semifinal conference championship, can make an argument. But then after that, it does drop off to Minnesota, who's 13-13. But like, do you guys like right now? Penn State sits at 20-7. Is Penn State a team that anybody is going to pick to make it to the Final Four? Probably not.
They'll get in, but
right. But they're also building something nice now. Michigan State, another one, blue blood. They've been around our whole lives.
Dude, they were the number one preseason team.
Yeah, exactly. And they've been they're 19-9, but they also play in one of the toughest conferences. So, man, I don't know. This is the time of year I love, and I don't even get to watch the games, but I follow so intently on Twitter, and I follow way too many basketball programs, Twitter pages, and different experts. But like, this is going to get really, really fun once conference tournament season gets here, because you're going to start seeing, and this gets talked about every year. If a team like Vermont, who is, to win their conference and take a seat, well, do they get in? Like, which mid-level conferences get 2 bids? Is if Dayton doesn't pick up the automatic qualifier in the A10, they get upset by somebody, and somebody else picks up that automatic qualifier that maybe would not have been in the tournament, then Dayton cannibalizes one of those at-large bids. So, like, this is the time of year where, teams are really starting to get themselves poised to make their runs. And you're seeing it with Kansas. Like, Kansas is super hot right now. Where are they going to wind up if they lose in the conference quarterfinals? Are they going to be a 1 seed? Are they going to be a 2? Who knows? That's what's the beauty. I'm rambling here, but like, this is the time of year that like you love to see. West Virginia loses to Texas last night, and what seems like a meaningless game. But now they're jockeying for position. Who are you going to play in conference tournament? This is really fun, and a local one. I know we don't have a ton of success. Illinois is having a really good year. They're going to make the tournament.
They're fun.
NIU right now, I know I'm very biased on this. I got the poster right there. But they're sitting at 17-11 and first in the MAC West, and obviously the MAC only gets 1 automatic qualifier. So that's starting to heat up something a little bit local, and I think they have 2 home games left. So if you're in the DeKalb area,
win, baby. Just win.
Yeah, exactly. And tonight was a tough one. They end up beating Eastern Michigan on the road in Ypsilanti. But other than that, man, Loyola's having a good year. Bradley's having a good year. So the Missouri Valley Conference tournament, which is always the week before everybody's, that one's going to be fun, especially if you can somehow catch Bradley and Loyola maybe running into each other. And Southern Illinois is getting a little spicy. Maybe they can get involved in the mix, having a couple I don't want to say local teams, but in-state teams with a lot of, local guys, suburb guys, and stuff like that. So, I don't know, man. This is just like this is my Christmas. This is my favorite time of year. If you can't tell,
a lot of college basketball coming up here. I think the conference tournaments will be a lot more exciting this year, especially for like the Big Ten, because it'll be your last chance to kind of separate yourselves from maybe some of the not average teams in the Big Ten, but if you want to make a statement to get into the tournament, the tournament may be a spot where if you make a little bit of a run, to be fresh in their brains, and hopefully you can be one of the last ones in the Big Ten to make it.
Like, if Rutgers gets bounced on day one, that doesn't do anything for their resume. And
like I said, with as many good teams as there are in the Big Ten, easily some of the good teams will be going down first day.
It is going to be a very strange year with no North Carolina in the tournament.
But
I mean, obviously they still have the chance to win their conference tournament, but it's strange.
Which is, they've lost 5 straight?
Yeah, they're 10-17. They're done.
Yeah. But let's move on to a subject that doesn't affect you guys, but affects me. Ryan Pace still has faith in Mitch. It's one of those things. I guess you kind of have to come out there and say it because they are so tied together. If Mitch fails, which I wouldn't say it's a failure yet. You could still salvage it if you have a good year. You've had a good year in the past. You made it to the playoffs and everything. But once Mitch goes, Ryan Pace is going to go because they're kind of, like I said, tied together with the draft picks and everything. And
it's your wagon, yep.
But it does get to be a little frustrating when you go out there and you back a guy who had the year. I would like to hear maybe a little of a critique. I understand you don't want to go out there and throw your starting quarterback under the bus or anything, but I would like to hear we're going to try and get some competition in here. We're going to try and maybe have it be a little bit more of a competition in a way where maybe he'll get more aggressive the way he prepares for games, and he doesn't understand that he's not the only one that's going to start. Because with Chase Daniel there, you knew Chase Daniel was never going to start a game if Mitch Trubisky was healthy. Like, I want a guy that if he goes into the training camp and has a pretty good first maybe game, is playing well in practice and stuff, could take his job, and that's what I want. I want that kind of competition. I'm not saying that I don't want Mitch Trubisky to be my starting quarterback. I wouldn't say I want him to, but I've already come to the conclusion that he's going to be your starting quarterback, our starting quarterback.
Right.
But I would just like for maybe the backup not to be Chase Daniel. I like Chase Daniel. He's a nice guy. He was a great interview on the Pat McAfee show. He was on his radio show. He's a great guy. But I would like a guy. I don't even know who I really want. You would take a Jameis Winston or maybe a Cam Newton or an Andy Dalton or somebody like that will give you some competition.
Patrick, like in that kind of sense, like an older vet just to kind of rattle the cage a little bit.
Yeah, something though, or even just maybe a younger guy that you could maybe get later in the draft or something. Just some sort of competition, or maybe just if something does happen to Mitch throughout the season, if the shoulder goes out because he likes to run a little bit, or the knee or something like that, that you know that you are more confident in your backup quarterback than you were. Because with Chase Daniel, yeah, he went out there, he played well, but he's gonna throw the ball. He's not gonna run. You know, nothing like that's gonna happen. He didn't even throw it. I mean, he's been a backup for so long for a reason. Like if he was a starting quarterback caliber quarterback, he would have played quarterback this year for the Chicago Bears. Like, that's just what it is. So I just think that I guess you got to have confidence in the guy, but I also would like to hear what your plan is for the offseason and how you're going to try and fix a QB position spot that's been a failure for ever, pretty much, as the Chicago Bears. We had Jay Cutler. I mean, even when we had our best quarterback in Jay Cutler, it's still a failure in a way because we didn't win a Super Bowl. So, like,
Zach, what are your thoughts? Matt Nagy came out today and said that he would maintain play calling abilities for the offense, but is like more open-minded about some of the changes. Does that do anything for you? Does that tickle you where you itch?
I mean, I would hope that he was taking advice before. I hope he wasn't so hard-headed that he was only taking his own advice, but maybe he was. And it's just nice to know maybe he understands that some of the play calling was the problem last year. So those comments, it makes you feel like he understands maybe some of the problems from last season, and we're trying to fix them. So I liked his comments.
He's at least acknowledging the problem.
He at least kind of admitted. He didn't admit the full problem, and that's not what a coach is going to do. He's not going to go out there and throw his whole team under the bus. But he pretty much threw himself under the bus, saying, yeah, it had to do with my play calling. I've got to get better. And I'm going to work to get better, and I'm going to look for some advice and some people to talk to about it, which is nice to hear, other than Ryan Pace going out there and go, yeah, we got confidence in this guy. He'll be our starting quarterback in 2020. He's got confidence. Hasn't he proven himself in the past? No, he has not. So, I really, like I said, with the Nagy stuff, I like it. I like how he acknowledged it, and then with the Ryan Pace stuff, it's just pretty much – and just add the Bears to another team maybe that the front office is going to kind of get the fire Ryan Pace here soon if something bad happens this season. But we don't.
So what? Yeah, like the worst case scenario for the start of the season. Like, I mean, if the Bears go,
not making the playoffs. I mean, as much as crazy as that sounds,
is there an earlier? Is there an earlier ceiling, like if like the Bears go, I don't know, 0-4, then it's just
really
like fuck everything, just sell it. Man,
I mean, it's not like it's the thing with football is it's not like baseball or basketball or something. Like it's not like you're gonna have a giant trade deadline in the middle. I mean, you're not gonna be making too many moves within the season. So it's pretty much if you don't make the playoffs, that's the season's a failure. Like at this point, it's either So it's just kind of
it's a ride it out.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have to play out the whole season. It's not like you're gonna start firing people in the middle of the season. Especially that's just not how the McCaskies or anyone really want to go about it. I would think you wouldn't want to in during the season, but we'll have to see how it goes. It's a while away. I'm looking more to the Cubs, but we'll see how that goes. But let's get into. We had the Bulls Thunder. Bulls lose by 2 to the Thunder on a weird play call. They had the ball with about I think like 2.5 left, 2.5 seconds left, down 2, and they just get a pretty awful looking 3. I mean, it ended up being an okay look from Zach LaVine, but he was slipping around. Not the best shot on Chris Paul. You would maybe like to see a play to the basket to at least try and tie the game up. I guess if you're the Bulls, you want to win the game. Zach LaVine played well. He hit some big-time threes there at the end. And like I said, Kobe White's playing a lot better as of late the last few games because he's getting more playing time. I think he should start getting the starting job because why would you not? It's not like Thomas Satoransky's going out there and saving the season. He's not. He's not played well really the whole season. And Kobe White is is part of the future, and Thomas Satoransky just isn't. Like that's just how it is. And I want to see how Kobe White plays in the starting spot, and like that's what this season is. We're not looking for the playoffs. We're not going looking forward to too much. Let's try and get some of these young guys out there and see what they can do in big time games. And this was a big time game. You lose by 2, yeah. You lose by 2 and it sucks, but this is when the guys should be in there and you should be I don't know. It just seems like everything you look at, you always want to blame Boylen, and then there's reason to blame him. Everyone goes, why are you blaming him? Why are you blaming him? Because he's not a good coach. He's not calling timeouts in the right spot. He's not subbing in the right guy. He's just not in the right starting lineups, and that's why everyone's angry. It's not because you want to find something to blame. You have something to blame because there's something wrong in the organization. There's a lot of things wrong in the organization, and it's just annoying that people are blaming them.
Dude, Zach LaVine and Kobe White combined for 76 of the 122 points. Now, here's what's frustrating. Kobe White, 33 minutes, amazing. Thomas Satoransky, 33 minutes, 10 points. Thomas Satoransky's plus-minus tonight was minus 17.
Oh.
Cristiano Felicio played 33 minutes tonight, had 6 points.
Yeah, I saw somebody brought a picture of Felicio and they made a basket and they were all happy. It's like, come on, man.
He's a bum.
And then Boylen comes out and says he's like, I was brought in to develop.
Yeah, I don't care about
players,
my record.
and I've done that. I'm like, dude, you're just stop talking.
This isn't college basketball. This isn't college basketball. You don't go out there. You're trying to get these younger guys like going in the right direction, but they're professionals. Like you got to go out there and coach in the right way. And the biggest thing is the relationship you have with your players, and you already can tell he doesn't have a good relationship with any of his players.
There is no,
especially his best player in Zach LaVine. It's been on the court, off the court, the issues they've had. So just give it up, dude. The shtick is old. I'm over it.
Well, it was like the other night when Boylen calls a timeout. There's 10 seconds left and they're down by 10 or 12 points, and then you can see LaVine mouth like, "Why are we calling a timeout?"
They're 19 games
down by
500.
10.
They're 20-39 right now, and he comes out today going, "Oh, we're not worried about the record, this and that." Like, why do you say stuff like that? Like, do you think that you just have like he must have been told there is nothing you can do to get fired because he doesn't care. He'll say anything.
No, he says the wrong thing every time he says
that for the last 15 years.
Like I said, I'm watching on mute. I'm watching the Jim Boylen press conference. It just can't be fun.
Just caption everything.
Another game. I'm guessing it's when final the Blackhawks and Blues. Did the Blackhawks lose?
Yep.
6-5.
They were up by a goal going into the third period. Give up 2 goals in 16 seconds. Coming off.
Yeah, they go down and then they retake the lead. They were up 5-4, and then
6-4.
Yeah,
6-5. 6-5. Coming off a day where a lot of Blackhawks fans are not happy at the front office, like a lot of Chicago fans aren't at their teams, with the bad, just confusing trades. You get rid of Robin Leonard to the Las Vegas Knights for pretty much nothing. You get rid of Eric Gustafson for pretty much nothing. Like, you got nothing out of yesterday. You got rid of a good goalie. Yeah, I think they got a goalie out of one of the two trades.
Yeah, it's Subban's brother.
Okay, who is going to be?
He's not very good.
Yeah, he's going to be Crawford's backup goalie the rest of the year. This season's over. Like I said, we'll have to see where this front office comes back next year. What's up with that? But the season's, I hate to say it, both these seasons are over, and they're both over. But they're the light at the end of the tunnel just keeps getting farther and farther away for both of them because they both just keep digging holes deeper and deeper for the organization and players and stuff, and it just seems like neither organization has the right path right now, and it's sad because it's two organizations that have had a very strong past. The Blackhawks very recently had a 10-year span where they won 3 Stanley Cups, and now we're here. We have the Bulls who back in the 90s won 6 championships, and now we're here. Like, it's very sad.
So far removed from being good.
It was like just even like 10 years ago when the Bulls were the Joakim Noah and the Derrick Rose Bulls, they were in the conference finals. Like, I mean, it's just fallen so far in the last 8 to 10 years.
Shout out to Joakim Noah. His birthday was the 25th yesterday, and they had a video when he stole the ball from Paul Pierce in that double overtime game to put them up, and he got fouled dunking the ball.
Yeah.
The place was going crazy. I'm like, that's when it was fun.
Dude, Chance, you remember this? This was our.
Doesn't that feel like it was about a million years ago though?
No, it was our senior prom. It was that overtime series against the Celtics, and none of us had smartphones, so we're like all huddled around a table in the back of the Celtics. I'm just like refreshing it, just waiting for updates on the game. That was when they played the Celtics.
I do remember that. We had Dylan's phone out.
Damn, that was Game 7 too. So none of them bummed.
Remember that moment because I don't know the next time you'll be sitting around a phone trying to watch a Bulls game with any sort of excitement for a long time.
But there was no stream. It was all just like
literally
no Reddit.
And just all just like 6 of us that's around the table, just all our boys just waiting to see what the game result was. It was so fun.
Before you could Reddit stream about anything.
Those were the good old days. And then to watch that shit show on TV.
Boomy, do you have a wacky web story for us?
Yeah, good transition, Pigoy. Speaking of smartphones, a woman is having an issue with her parents cutting off her cell phone service, right? Perfectly normal behavior for a 13-year-old. But this adult called the police. But the worrisome part is multiply that age of 13 by 3, and you have this woman, a 36-year-old, has been arrested. Solani Ketrafal was arrested on February 13th in Canton, Ohio, because she just kept calling the police because her parents cut off her cell phone service. What an absolute stooge.
When you started that story, I go, this chick's got to be like 47 years old. And you said her name. You said her name was Solani. What was it?
Ketrafal.
And I go, this chick is the buffest Russian hockey player of all time. So I was like so polarized on my pick of who this person was.
She was literally charged disrupting police services, a 4th-degree felony. This woman picked up a felony for calling the cops because her folks, who are probably in their 60s or 70s, kept cutting off her phone service because her broke ass couldn't pay.
Wonder why their dipshit kid was bothering about their cell phone service.
I can only assume this 36-year-old lives at home with the parents and is.
The thing is, it's not like the cops just don't. They can't just be like, oh yeah, it's the same number, not picking up. They have to pick it up every time.
So she called them and advised them to send emergency services. And then 2 hours later, literally did the same thing. She was belligerent and stated she believed this to be a legitimate issue. So I'm assuming the cops were also not having a great day. And they're like, listen, if I had to come out here a second time for this, I'm giving you a felony. Just go away.
Just go to a Starbucks and get on the internet there. It's free. Just
exactly. Or just go get a track phone. They're like $30 a month.
Yeah,
I had a track phone once. You guys ever had track phones?
Never.
I had a track phone once.
Just come on. Come on, people.
The wire there, Pigway.
You know what? People suck. It's just people
Yeah,
suck.
people do suck, and like that just
And you know what? People are
emphasizes
idiots.
it. Like, I don't know.
People are idiots.
I saw a video today. I don't know if you guys follow Roan on Twitter, but he had a video and it was like some rodent pig or whatever, and it runs like 30 something miles an hour, and it's like faster than like Usain Bolt and stuff. And it's like, why are humans supposedly the best species? Like, why are we like this higher up? Like, I think that if you really look at it, maybe we aren't, and people like this are the reason why I think that.
Yep.
I don't think.
Exactly.
So sometimes society takes like 2 steps forward and just one gigantic step back.
You know what I mean, though? Like, oh, humans are so great. Maybe they're not. Maybe we're not. I don't think we are. Sometimes we look at ourselves and we do stupid shit like that, where we call the cops because our, what'd you say, 30-something-year-old?
36-year-old.
Can't buy a phone, so we need our parents to, so we're going to call the cops and disrupt the cops. And that's just like, what? Come on. Well, we got to be better as humans.
Yeah, we got to be better. We ought to all be better. I like that.
Anything post-show, boys?
I can't stop betting on soccer.
It's fun. It's
it's so fun.
Especially if you
Champions League.
If you hit a big draw or something like that,
Man.
that's always exciting. Because those are like the good odds.
I got the Champions League today, tomorrow, every Tuesday, Wednesday. Like it's
a good time too. Like it's
fun.
nice to fill the day with
midday, like 2:00. 2:00. What's it called? Is it kickoff? No, 2:00. Yeah, kickoff.
Yeah, kickoff. Well, yeah, midfield kickoff.
Midfield ball drop. There.
No, I don't think we should call it
wouldn't even be a ball. No, we should though.
The ball drop.
No, the midfield ball drop. 2:00 on the pitch. Midfield ball drop.
Yo, you got to check out my Twitter. I just retweeted how NIU won the game at Eastern Michigan tonight. They hit a what looks to be about a 25-footer at the buzzer to win. They were down 1. Eastern Michigan ran the floor, kicked it out. Kid buried. Eugene German, the all-time leading scorer at NIU now, just buried a 25-footer to take the win.
I got it right now. There's 15 seconds. Inbounds the ball. No,
let's hear Pigways.
There he goes. He gets it. He's dribbling to the 3-point line. Kicks it for the win. Bang! It's over.
Buried it.
So we'll have to see how.
That was cool.
What do we got about?
I might have to go to Cleveland, boys.
What do we got about 2 weeks until conference tournaments?
Yep. If NIU makes the conference championship, I might have to drive to Cleveland.
So Selection Sunday is 3 weeks. So
is the MAC tournament the week before?
No, it's the same as everybody else's.
Okay, well, not everyone. There's some before.
Yeah, Missouri Valley's week before.
Which I think
a lot of those,
if you're one of like the smaller D1 conferences, I'd rather do it like the week before because you're just going to get more coverage.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like the Missouri Valley always gets covered on SportsCenter because they're the only.
I mean, like I think like a MAC tournament should be that week before, and you would get more like coverage.
Now they do it smart. Like they started on Monday, and I think their finals on like a Thursday or a Friday, where everybody else's is Saturday and Sunday. So it's not like completely the week before, but it's a couple days before.
So, we'll see.
Yeah, that's like what's awesome is like that middle of that week. You had like the A10, the Sun Belt, the Horizon. Yeah. They're all like the Monday through Thursday.
Yep, and then you get the big dogs on the weekend.
So much to watch that week.
Exactly.
Got a lot of college basketball coming up here. We'll cover that on the show. But thank you to our sponsor, The Muddy Otter. Go to themuddyotter.com or hit them up on Facebook or Instagram. Again, that is themuddyotter.com. Beautiful mug right here. If you want products like that, go to themuddyotter.com. Hannah and Mitch Prentice, and also Score Trader. Go on to the Apple Store, type in Score Trader, download the app, make an account for free. Get ready for, what is it, Saturday, Boomy?
Yep, South Carolina on Saturday.
So get ready for that. They said Score Trader, Apple Store, download the app, and then follow them on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thank you to The Muddy Otter and Score Trader. Thank you to Pigway at TCF Pigway and Boomy at Boomy TCF for joining me tonight. I am Zach Lilja. You can follow me on Twitter at ZLilja, LILJA TCF. The main page is at typical_Chicago. Instagram, Facebook. Just type in Typical Chicago Fans and follow us on there. Then go to YouTube, type in Typical Chicago Fans, and subscribe to the page, the YouTube page for the Typical Chicago Fan Boys. And we have all of our TCF morning shows on there. And then if you want, go wherever you get your podcast from, type in Typical Chicago Fans, subscribe, rate, review if you are on Apple. And then if you are on Spotify, follow and give us a review on there. Thank you guys. Got anything else, boys?
Nope.
Nothing.
Nothing. Thank God this winter storm didn't turn out to be what the 12 inches they were predicting.
One last thing. R.J. Barrett kind of struggling throughout the year.
Yeah.
16.7 3-point percentage.
Not great.
Like I said, I'm watching this, and the Bulls didn't win, but it looks like Kobe White's having himself a season here at the end, and that's what we need.
He had 35, which was his career high, so I bet I'd be willing to bet he does not start in the next game.
Yeah, why would you do that? Well, it'd be too easy. That'd be too smart of Jim Boylan to do.
Yeah, there's also a video going around on Twitter right now where y'all just have to go watch it. Zach LaVine was yelling at Jim Boylan.
It's every game. It's every game. I don't know why, as an organization, you would not get rid of
respect
your biggest problem should not be the coach, and that's what it's becoming. So,
clown show, dude.
We'll get more into that tomorrow after we get to watch the video and hear some of the post game stuff. But thank you for listening, watching to the TCF Morning Show, Wednesday, February 26th. We love you all.
Peace.
Peace.